take it away. Hello, hello. It's all you.
There. Anyways, yep, I am Darksol88. This is Amazing Mirror. It's honestly kind of a short game. You would think it's longer. It's kind of a maze. It's kind of not. It's gonna involve lots of wheel. It's gonna be very fast. Anyways, we'll go ahead and get ready and start in 3, 2, 1, go. Laurie, while we're never mind. Anyways, very short version is, yeah, there's a weird looking thing that looks like Meta Knight. It's totally Meta Knight, don't worry.
Anyways, Meta Knight, but they like amped up the grayscale.
Yeah, anyways, we're gonna try and get wheel here if we can. Well, okay. We are off to a good start. Let's just try that again.
Yeah. If you fail this mix more than once, the AI-controlled Kirby's can really start to get in your way.
Well, I did it right now.
Sleep.
I'll do this a couple more tries. I've got a backup in mind. It's just not going to be pleasant.
Yeah. You really just ideally hope that you can...
Okay, we're just going to do the other way that I don't think is going to be pleasant, but...
Oh, boy.
It's one of them runs I can tell.
The fun thing about mixes, this is the first mix we're talking about, I guess, because, you know, the last game we did no abilities, and now we're working abilities. So mixes, you have a 4-frame window to get the ability that you want, and sometimes that's not too bad if it's like an early mix. However, the mix that you go for in that there, I believe it's either the 16th or 17th ability in that wheel.
It's a really late one, and it's a very crucial one.
Yeah, so it's not easy, and if you miss it, you're gonna lose a lot of time, because even though burning is, like, you know, faster than a lot of other abilities, it does not quite compare to wheel.
No. If anyone has seen the Nightmare and Dreamland runs in the past, yeah, there's a reason why wheel is such a beloved ability.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. For those that this might be the first Frame Fatales event they're watching, when I last event did a race of the other Kirby GBA game, Nightmare in Dreamland, and there were a lot of wheel mixes in that one, or at least a lot of wheel usage. Even, you know, despite missing that first mix, there's gonna be a lot of wheel usage in this game.
Yeah, it's just luckily we don't have to do mixes for the rest of them.
Yeah, there's a neat little thing where wheel spawns in just a place you can get it super easily.
Okay, this is also not going quite as ideal. Never mind, close enough. Normally you're supposed to grab 2 Waddle Dees and get a double star, and for some reason they did not cooperate like I wanted them to. So, yeah, we had to do that. Double stars are important. We'll touch on that subject later. Yeah, otherwise right now it's honestly just me rushing to pretty much our first boss, King Golem, which he's totally not Wispy Woods. Honestly. You might think he is. He's not. Ish. Luckily, we have a better solution than trying to run around without wheel. we're just gonna drop a rock on it.
Yeah.
And we're gonna hit the switch because it does actually give us something much very, very useful in about 30 seconds or so.
Yeah. So, as mentioned at the beginning of the run, this game is a maze. Oh, also this is a boss, I guess.
There's King Golem, and King Golem is also gone now.
Yep. This is a maze. There's a lot of warps throughout this maze. And since you only have one path at the beginning, that button is the thing that lets you really start going to other areas.
Yeah. Also, we save reset after every boss because it does save time compared to the dance.
Yeah.
Most times.
Most times. Also, the main thing is that that button that we hit, there's a wheel right next to it. So that's the wheel we're basically going to be using every time we want wheel.
Yeah, the first match that we do, we luckily only ever need it once.
Also, that tutorial area we can't go back to. So even if we wanted to use it more than once, we couldn't.
We can't.
Yeah.
That said, if there are any donations while I'm kind of just rushing through to the next area, that would actually be appreciated.
Yeah, of course. We have a $100 donation, which is amazing. This is from BD Jeffy P, who says, honk, playo and love. I'm looking forward to more 2DX and happy to help break barriers for all. We also have a $25 donation from Mixie, who says, very cool event. Glad to see it happening and glad to be donating.
Also, if you lose your ability underwater, that's just more pain.
Yeah, you're pretty much, there's only one way to get it, and that's to have it float to the top. If it doesn't, good luck.
Yeah, this game is actually like a lot more generous about that than most others, to where it will float to the top, and if your ability, like, you know, if you're in a place where you can get it back in your mouth, the game will actually give it back to you. But like in that tunnel Dark Soul was just in, you know, that thing was not hitting.
No, it hits the top, and that's it. Luckily, there's another button coming up, and I could just go through it, go back to the door and everything, get wheel. So
yeah.
Okay. This is fine.
It's fine. It'll work out. Don't worry about it. Fortunately, you know, you have lives still. You haven't died that much yet. Also, you recently soft reset, which resets your life count back to 2.
Yeah, it's... let me tell you, the practice was just as brutal. I was having... The game was not having any of it.
This game is very mean. Is something I should mention. I've run a lot of Kirby games, and I think this is the one that, like, I find very hard not to get salty at. Okay, well, I get salty at most of them, but, like, this is the one where I feel like I salt the most often. This is a game that will throw you to the side, even despite the fact that there's a lot of safety in it.
Yeah, Tratam give and Tratam very much taketh, pretty much whenever it decides it wants to.
Yep. Especially if you are like me and you mainly ran 100% when you tried to run this game.
I am still afraid of trying to run that category.
Oh, it's horrible. Well, okay, not horrible. I don't want to sell the speed game short, but like, it is very difficult and can be very frustrating.
How about another? Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, go on.
I was just going to ask about a donation, but you have things to talk about too.
No, you don't want to do donation. That's actually fine.
All right, sure. We have a $10 donation from Nick O, who says, little known fact, the original title for Kirby's Adventure in Mexico is El Pollo Loco. Thanks for the wonderful runs, everyone. I have a feeling that might not be true.
What do you mean? They gave us money.
No,
It
that
has to
sounds
be true.
that sounds perfectly. That sounds like an actual
Definitely.
title.
You're
I'm
right.
sure.
Listen, they gave us money to say that. Why would they lie to us with money on? Like,
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry.
oh my goodness.
Anyways,
I almost wish that was true.
that would actually be a funny title. And I'm not sure that. Well, no, that would just be a funny title.
Yeah.
Okay, we're actually about to approach the second boss finally.
Oh yeah, that's a thing. This is a maze. We mentioned that a lot. You can do big bosses in basically any order you want to. So we're about to hit the second boss of this route, and this is level 8 technically. The level numbers are kind of arbitrary, quite honestly.
Yeah, anyways, here's Meta Knight for some reason he didn't give us a sword. At least we think it's Meta Knight.
It's question mark. I mean, I don't know who else it would be. Personally, that was a nice fight.
That one's actually gone cleaner than some of them.
And also, some people talking in chat, we saw about how we saw Master Hand as a mini boss earlier. Yes. This is the Kirby game where Smash, an ability that gives Kirby the Super Smash Bros. Moveset, this is that game.
Yeah, this and Nightmare and Dreamland were released during Melee's heyday, and they really tried to market some of the aspects of it.
Yeah. And I'm not too much of a Smash person, especially not a Melee person, but from what I understand, Kirby is like, if not the straight up worst, one of the bottom 3 characters in Melee.
It's a well-balanced game, we'll leave it at that.
I'm gonna be honest, when it comes to fighting games, speaking of fighting, we're gonna be fighting Molly here, and this strategy using throw is hopefully going to work in our favor.
Yeah, Molly's very RNG dependent, and depends if we A, actually grab something, and B, if it stays in a spot that's on the ground.
Yeah.
Presuming to do this.
Yeah,
Kirby
there you
is completely invincible while he's holding something, and you can just kind of hold the thing in the enemy's face, and that's it.
You want to hear a great story?
Sure.
Well, this is more a fun fact to people in chat. In Kirby Squeak Squad, which came out, I think, 2 years after this game, there's a boss called Miss Molly, presumably the wife of Molly here, who's the same thing, except she can go into the background and be undamageable.
They got wise.
Yeah, it gets worse, don't worry. Fortunately, yeah, despite the luck in that fight, it's over quickly. And now you're going to,
I'm
one
going
of my
for
favorite levels in this
I think
area.
it's made a Titan. So yeah.
Yes. You're heading to actually my personal favorite level in this game.
That said, I still have to wonder what a castle of carrots would actually look like.
I mean, I think it would be cool. I don't know what about me gives the impression that I'm a fan of carrots, but I'm sure there's something.
It's a mystery.
Okay. We'll go with that.
Yeah, honestly, a lot of this. Oh, I meant one right. I could have actually gone that way. That would have led me to other bosses, and I could have just done them instead. But I'll be honest, I tend to have this one route in my head most of the time, and I would rather not end up confusing myself.
Yeah, that's a good thing. There's a lot of different routes in this in this game, like a lot of different, because as you can probably tell, you know, it doesn't change too much, you know, how much you want to do in terms of the order you fight bosses. It's just a matter of getting wheel and going to the bosses. So I think there are some that are faster than others just due to like the order of bosses, but for the most part, you can really do anything. Like, doors are a big part of it. You want to activate certain doors before certain levels just so you can kind of do stuff quicker, but again, that still leaves a lot of variance.
We're fine. There's a tomato coming up, and here's a cannon run with absolutely nothing going on, so if there's a donation, go for it.
Sure thing. We have a $5 donation from Razzo13. Here's a little bit of information. So, who says, here are some interesting blobs of info. Miyamoto said the name Kirby was picked because it reminded him of American lawyer John Kirby, who had represented Nintendo in court during a dispute with Universal City Studios over Donkey Kong. Nintendo organized a meetup for Kirby fans at PAX Prime in 2012 with a specific objective: break a world record. It was the most people blowing a bubble with gum, using Kirby's trademark blowing as inspiration. Kirby is, in fact, the most powerful video game character. Anyone who says otherwise is wrong. Puyo forever!
I love the evidence brought to the table on that last fact.
I know.
Yeah, also, you'll notice we actually did not soft reset there. That's because when you actually let the dancer through, you'll end up at the door you last went through in the hub. So we just actually let the dancer through, go through the door again, and on your side, that's going to lead us to our next boss. Also, I feel like I did not give Mega Titan justice. The short version, his body is impervious to anything that's not electrical.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Spark and Beam.
Yeah, if you don't have one of those two abilities, you have to knock him into the wall, which is pretty easy with Wheel. That's something, Wheel is good for movement. In this game, it's also just broken for everything else. This is one of the games where Wheel can jump, which makes it really good. The invincibility frames that Wheel has in this game is crazy compared to some of the other games. I think wheel jumps are a thing in this game? I'm not quite sure on that one.
They are, but not to the degree of Squeak Squads.
Oh yeah, no, Squeak Squads are crazy. I guess to go a little bit more into that, you can kind of see a little bit, sometimes Darksol, when trying to gain height, will jump and use wheel soon after, and doing that lets you gain a really good amount of height. Like, in most games, better than a normal jump can give you, just by doing those two actions at the same time. That's like the one downside Wheel has in this game compared to some of its other incarnations, is that its wheel jumping ability is not amazing. Unlike we mentioned Squeak Squad, where wheel jumping, you can actually like go the whole height of the screen and then some.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. Also, there is a strat there called UFO mix, where you can get it on fire to just... Basically, the next room, there's a bomb block that needs a bit of range to reach. UFO or fire can hit it, and there's a mixer where you can do that. The strat before that, or slightly slower one, is to instead get sword, called the Kirby's, and do this.
Nice. That can be really annoying sometimes.
Yeah, that's actually very random, because sometimes they'll just kind of not cooperate very well.
Yeah.
And you'll sit there swinging a sword, bobbing up and down, waiting like 30 seconds for them to decide, oh wait, hi, let me give you some light.
Yeah, to go a little bit further in depth, because I actually think that strat is really cool. Bringing back up Smash for a little bit, this game has footstooling, essentially. So you can like jump off of an AI Kirby and get some extra height with it. And when you do that, the game will think you're on land because you're technically standing on something. That even lets you make the game think that you're on land when you're underwater, which allows you to do that like upwards move that you saw to hit the block.
Yeah, anyways, coming up next will be Gobbler, basically a, okay. Okay, we actually got through it. The cannon actually was kind to us for once. Anyways, we have our next boss Gobbler coming up, which is basically a giant shark, and our solution is we're going to drop a giant rock on it.
Yeah. You see, Jaws, they were all there over there talking about we need a bigger boat. You really just need a big rock.
Yeah, ideally, we'll actually get the one cycle, which is 6 hits before it starts moving. Mm-hmm. That does not happen terribly often.
Nope.
Most times you'll get 5 and then it stops registering hits, or you'll get 5 or 3 and it'll start moving. It can go quite a few different ways. Mm-hmm. There's actually a flow chart.
Yeah. Wait, there is?
Yeah, there actually is a flow chart.
That's actually amazing. I haven't seen that.
God, he's really weak.
That's
I'll just do that.
one way to get the last hit. You already have 5 of the mirror shards.
Yep, and the next 3 are going to be almost as rapid.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, you'll notice we're actually going this way for one reason. One, where we need to go is actually in the room I'm about to go back to, and 2, that room had wheel.
Yeah.
Also, my controller is really liking to think I am pressing up.
Uh-huh. That's a thing in GBA, Kirby.
I think it's a virtual console thing at this point.
I'm gonna complain about it because I fit in that category.
Actually, in all honesty, even on an actual cartridge, I've had this happen before because the game is just touchy with up inputs, just like Nightmare and Dreamland before it. Mm-hmm. In fact, they actually tried to fix the floating to avoid that. Unfortunately, no, it's still a bit finicky. And sometimes you just drive on spikes.
Wheel's not quite that good.
I mean, it could be. Actually, no, don't.
Mm. Oh, okay. I thought you were going to whiz for a second. Also, shout out to Mr. Flosty.
Yeah, that's a weird little localization bug. For whatever reason, yeah, Japanese R and L sounds are kind of inverted. So for some reason, they just mistranslated Mr. Frosty. We're not sure why either.
In between Nightmare and Dreamland in this game, he either became a dentist or started playing a lot of Fortnite. Maybe both. Probably the dentist.
I'm not going to comment because that just gave images I would like to erase from my brain.
I mean, considering the world that we're in is called Candy, I'm hoping the dentist because you might need one.
Yeah, that's true.
Although I actually really do not want to see a dentist ever again, if I'm being quite honest. Could go without that in my life.
Yeah, this area is actually one of the more difficult sections because it's very easy to lose your run here for any number of reasons, up to including losing wheel, dying wheel
because you lost wheel, losing wheel because you died. You know, the 2 bad things that can happen in this game.
Or the room I'm about to enter or traffic just entered goes very, very wrong.
Oh, this room always goes wrong.
This is this is probably the toughest room to most of the runners, because there's a lot of beam enemies. They're very obnoxious with how they can hit you, and the game in this room is probably the laggiest in the entire game. Also, here's our friend Master Hand again. And now he's on. And I almost outran the camera.
Jeez. I know this is a speed run, but still.
I still like this is probably the only game where you can actually do that.
Kirby game, maybe. There are a lot of games where you can outrun the
camera. A lot of these, yes, but in this series.
Yeah, I can't think of another game in the Kirby series where you can outrun the camera quite like that.
There's also alternate strats for this room where you don't hit as many enemies. It's a lot trickier. But anyway, we're going to be tossing wheel here, and here's our new best friend, Missile, and by best friend I mean hated enemy, because it is very awkward to control. Yeah. Missile kind of is not great to control. However, if you're good with controlling it, it can be very helpful. But, like, only the best of the best can, like, competently use this thing. It's crazy. And at the same time, it is probably faster vertical than almost anything else you could ever use. I don't think this game has high jump. No, it doesn't. Yeah, so unfortunate, because high jump is great. I love high jump. That said, we're going to be grabbing fire, and oh look, you're Crazy Hand too. Oh, hey. Honestly, this one's relatively straightforward, although it is faster if one of them actually tries to drop on top of me, because then they can give me stone. But that won't be needed. That was still good, yeah. Is the next will be done after going this way, we'll be going towards Traco, which might be a little more familiar for people who follow the series. Honestly, this is actually a very, very short segment, so while I'm on the way over there, do we have any other donations?
We sure do. We've got a $25 donation from Muddy3030245, who says, I may not have always enjoyed school myself, but I still recognize how important it is. Glad to help out in some way. Also, heard there's an incentive to fight Miss Ruby blindfolded, so I had to donate for that as well, lol. We also have a $25 donation from Calt0, who says, donating to help the Final Fantasy III run happen.
You know, I kind of hope that run happens. That does sound pretty interesting.
Should be really good. Currently, we are $30 out of the $3,000 for the Final Fantasy III bonus any % run. We are $30 as well into the Sly Cooper Miss Ruby fight blindfolded. So make sure you all get your donations in for that so we can see all of those things happen.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit from each of you goes a long way. Uh-oh.
Let's see. And okay, that's fine. That particular Shadow Kirby there can sometimes give you invincibility candy, and that will make the mini boss right up ahead a little bit faster, but it's almost as fast if you use stone. Yeah, basically drop giant rocks on things, and apparently it works. I say as I am getting completely destroyed. It's fine. I probably should not do this with 1 health, but we're gonna try it anyways. But yeah, Crab goes very much like you would remember it, and yeah, we pretty much drop a rock on it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, I really feel like I should be mentioning those little weird door enemies. Those are called mirrors, and what they do is, if you do certain actions near them, they hide. I did not want that. These up inputs are killing me.
Yeah, I was like, you didn't mean to go through that door, did you?
No. No, because that's not going to take me the whiz.
No. We need one more boss, and it's on the opposite side of the map.
Yeah, which, that's, at the very least, we're going that way now.
Yeah. I just thought of something really dumb that I kind of
What?
want to share. You know how earlier in this run we fought Mr. Frosty, but it was mistranslated as Mr. Flosty?
Yeah.
I should have made a Flossed Fatales joke.
I hate that I didn't think of that either.
I just thought of that now, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah. Anyway, for Wiz, there's a couple of strats you can use. One is to mix the Sparky and Sword Die for Hammer, or grab Parasol and just swing that out. And by swing, I mean just hold it out and let him hit himself. He actually has a lot of different moves, and he can be a bit obnoxious, although this time he's actually playing very nicely. I say as I actually accidentally slide into the wall, and yeah.
Oh yeah, no, this boss can play as nice as they want. The arena is still made of ice.
You know what? Okay, that is not how I planned this out.
Goodness. Okay, you know what? Nope, this boss does not
There we
play
go.
nice ever. That's what I meant to say.
No, none of these bosses play nice at all. It's their King Golem, because King Golem is King Golem and doesn't really put up a fight.
The best thing about King Golem is that he can't move. That's really like
Pretty much.
the ideal.
Actually, wait, forgot something. Let me grab that.
I didn't forget something. That was actually 100% intentional because you can now skip that cutscene in the mirror.
Yep, and that's exactly what I was doing. It's actually a little faster to do that instead of watching the cutscene. Also, it's a little faster to do this, because one, I'll go into this portal center, and you get this funny little glitch. of Kirby just standing on the air.
He's just chilling there.
At any rate, this is the final boss, Dark Mind. This strat is to go for a double star.
So yeah, double stars are very, very, very broken here.
Yeah, on the first 3 phases, they actually are a one-shot.
Oh yeah, 3 phases. This fight has 6 phases, by the way. I just think that's worth pointing out.
Yep. So yeah, for pretty much each of the first 4 phases, the strat is to go for that double star. It's just that for the 4th phase, it doesn't actually kill him in one hit. Which is good, because there's stuff we actually want from that. Assuming the name is kind. Or if that could happen.
Yep, welcome to the game.
Welcome to Amazing Mirror, where anything that can go wrong will probably go wrong sooner or later.
Sooner and later, really. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Okay, you know what? I do have a solution to this. Come here. No, come here. Thank you.
Are you just gonna death abuse?
Yes, so I can actually get something that can fight him. Alternately, we just use Meta Knight's sword, and we'll see if that does anything.
Do like the mid-air dash attack. I think that's a
Yeah,
good one.
that's actually what I had in mind.
Yeah. Well, it's good assuming he doesn't constantly teleport away.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Actually, now that I think about it, I could have just kept it for... Actually, no, because then I'm going to be able to do double start. So,
Yeah,
never mind.
You want to be able to double start here.
Yeah, and there's actually a strat or two where you can hit this switch without having to go through that whole segment, but it's not usually consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Now for this phase, what we're going to want to do is first double star, and then we're going to want a green star to come in front of them. A green star gives you an instant mix, and we want UFO from that if we can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, perfect.
Nice!
I honestly was not thinking that would be on my first try.
Yeah, that's a hard one. So...
I usually do not land that first try. It usually takes me a few because I'll miss time and get fire, or I'll get thrown.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing you just kind of learn, by the way, when you start doing mixes a bunch in this game, is you start to learn what abilities mean you were early and which ones mean you were late. Just kind of a funny little thing.
Also, this is what Dark Mind actually looks like. It's actually not quite as bad as you would think, and also equally as bad as you think.
Oh yeah, no, this fight is horrible. It's in Kirby and the Amazing Mirror. It's gonna be annoying and hard.
Or that can happen.
So there's just one more phase of this fight. This fight has 6 phases because, yeah.
Because Capcom.
Yeah. Let's go with that.
Because Flagship was actually a Capcom subsidiary at the time, so blame them.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Anyways, time will be coming up when I get the last hit on this thing. So, ideally that won't be in too much longer, or it might be in a while if I am especially unlucky and I die.
Please don't do that.
One of the two will happen. Okay, time. So, yeah, that was a thing.
That was a run.
Oh, and I finally just noticed the time. Yay. Yeah, I was hoping this would not have gone overestimate like that. Like, most of my runs are usually around 33, 34 minutes, but...
It's a marathon. And
It's a marathon,
also
and-
Nightmare Dreamland.
Yeah.
No, it's actually Amazing Mirror.
It's a marathon, and we pretty much just got... This thing was cursed. At any rate, we're actually gonna be. I know we're gonna be doing Star Allies next with you, so
Yep.
stay tuned for that. I'll also be commentating with her through that, and yeah. So yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you so much again, Dark Soul, for that awesome run. That was super fun to watch. Before we go to an ad, let's do a quick donation. We have a $250 donation from Opalescence, which is amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Opalescence says, peace, love, and potatoes. All right, we are going to an ad. We shall be back. All right, we are back. Let's get another donation in before the next run starts. We have a $25 donation in from Mia Like Papaya 139, who says, this whole event makes me happy. I love seeing all of these women speedrunners. And a special shout out to everybody on the production team. Being in the entertainment industry, we don't often get to see the women working behind the scenes, and I'm thrilled to see us being represented in this event. Well, thank you for your support and supporting other women, getting educated. Looks like we are good to go with our next run. This is Kirby Star Allies.